spectacular scenery of the Lake District is hardly a well-kept secret. In fact, in some villages, 30% of the houses are owned by out-of-towners, meaning that the property prices are as steep as the hills that grace the county. But if your pockets aren't that deep, don't worry, because I'm on my way to meet a couple who've come up with an ingenious way to own a little part of this world without spending a fortune.
Cheshire-based husband and wife duo Peter and Jane and their two young boys Jack and Henry are Lake District devotees. Peter has spent many a happy childhood holiday there, but there's one location that he considers is head and shoulders above the rest.
If we'd wanted a place in the Lake District, we could have obviously found something a bit quicker, I think, couldn't we?
Yeah.
But the location was going to be Hawkshead, so therefore it wasn't so easy. And we did look at a few cottages in and around Hawks, didn't we, in the village and outside the village. But just they weren't right for a number of reasons, were they?
And also property prices have really maintained themselves in that area, so nothing really suited what we particularly wanted for one reason or another.
Having drawn a blank, they chanced across a novel solution on the internet. It was the complete opposite of the traditional cottage they had in mind and came in a flat pack.
We went to have a look thinking it wouldn't be what we liked, and as soon as we saw the site and where it was and actually saw in one of the lodges, we were just completely sold to it.
The location they found is set within 5 acres of the Lake District National Park and has planning permission for 5 lodges in total. And when compared to a traditional cottage, they've made quite a saving, as a small 2-bed house in the village costs in the region of £350,000. But for a one-off fee of £250,000, Peter and Jane bought a 999-year lease on their plot, which includes a choice of holiday lodge from 2 designated companies. And the one they've decided to go with is called Retreat Homes.
What we've actually bought on the site at the moment is a 20 by 40 feet slab of concrete, and what we are now building is a wooden lodge to fit onto that. As much as the design of the exterior of the building is completely set, we can decide where we want the windows, we can decide whether we want a bedroom that's 6 foot by 6 foot or 12 foot by 12 foot, and it'll be great when we're in it and we can say, well actually, you know, we built this.
So Peter and Jane have divided the 74 square metre floor space into 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms with an open-plan kitchen lounge. The build is to be delivered to site with a fully fitted kitchen, bathrooms, oak floor, double glazing and a wood burner. And as for the exterior, it will have a pitched roof and will be clad in cedar timber.
The lodge is built in an airport hangar. It's an amazing factory when you go and have a look at it. There is just a massive, massive hangar with a number of retreat homes being built in there, and you can go in and see as much of your build or as little of your build as you want to. We've just signed off the final plans for the interiors, so 10 weeks from now should be our first holiday.
It sounds like Peter and Jane have managed to get a slice of Lake District action tailor-made to their exact requirements. Very clever. Never having had the pleasure of visiting the lakes myself, it seemed like the perfect opportunity to see what all the fuss was about, and once I got there, it all made sense.
It is the stuff of dreams, actually. You come somewhere like this and you look out at that and think, gosh, I am going to be able to escape the whole rat race every Friday night and get up here. What bits are you looking forward to the most?
I'm looking forward to just being able to have the boys up there and having them outside playing all the time. It's going to be great.
And I think it's lovely, particularly in this day and age, when people have kids, a lot of the time they're plonked in front of a computer or in front of the telly. It's almost quite an old-fashioned childhood you're trying to provide for your kids, aren't you? Sort of, go on, get outside. Like when we were kids, like, get outside and play, but I don't want to, it's cold.
Yeah. We are cruel, really, yeah.
We won't be joining them outside, obviously. But,
in a nice walk, sat inside with a glass of wine watching them.
It is the most beautiful place I've ever seen.
No, I think you can understand why we want to have a place up here, can't
just
you, really?
A bit.
It's going to be wonderful.
With the order placed, it's just a matter of 8 weeks until their brand new holiday home arrives on site. And so it's full steam ahead in the kit company's factory, as Jane and Peter's build is the next to add to the production line. Built on top of 2 10-foot wide steel chassis, the lodges are basically constructed in half sections so they can be transported to the site. Once the chassis are in place, the floor joists go down and the timber framework for the walls, which will eventually be infilled with high-performance glass fibre. All the pipework for the plumbing is already embedded in the floor cavity. The roof, like the rest of the lodge, is constructed in 2 halves, with 2 parallel beams that can be bolted together once on site. By weeks 3 and 4, the exterior is covered with a vapour barrier, water-resistant boarding and finally clad with the painted cedar cladding. And with the build reaching the halfway point, I met up with Peter and Jane as we paid a visit to the factory.
I love this building. I think it's fantastic. So here we go, look at this. And what the beauty of this is that you can see them all in their sort of various forms. You know, that's definitely in its infancy.
Yeah.
That one's well and truly finished and that one's almost done. And that is your actual one. What do you think?
It's really good to actually see it as a form rather than just on a piece of paper.
Your cladding's gone up on one side. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it looks great, doesn't it? It looks really good. That's the planning recommendations from the National Park. Because the plot is in the National Park, there are quite a lot of restrictions on how the design of the building is, and the cladding was one of those. I can understand why they put the restrictions in, so that it blends into the landscape rather than kind of standing out. Yeah. No, I think it looks lovely.
Yeah,
Can we go in?
good. Yeah, let's go in. Come on, let's go and have a look. I think they're fabulous. Look at this. It's great, isn't it?
I think this is going to be the utility.
Yes, I love the fact they've written
washing
everything on the
machine,
floor,
yeah.
so you can see exactly where it's all going to go. Boiler here, washing machine here.
And there should be a little seat here where you can take your wellies off and everything. That's how it's been designed.
This is the boys' bedroom, isn't it?
Right, yeah, it is. This is going to have twin beds
great,
in here.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's really good.
And that's perfect.
It's great, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
good size, isn't it?
I think it is. And then your bedroom's
Wow.
down there, isn't it?
Yep.
Right.
Let's go look. Your bedroom, your ginormous ensuite
Gosh, it is
bathroom. Have a look at
amazing.
that.
Wow.
That's huge.
It is, isn't it? It's really big space.
It'll be really lovely as well, because I think some people think, well, that's quite decadent having 2 bathrooms in a place like this, but you've got 2 boys under the age of 5. I think having that you can just shut the door on and not let them into.
Yeah, and it was, when we were designing it, we kind of contemplated we just need 1 bathroom, but we could fit 2 in, so we just thought we'd go for it and have an ensuite as well. It's worked out really well.
It seems such a big now.
But it's good having the wardrobes built in as well, because you really don't need
No.
any other furniture for a holiday home, do you? So
Right, lead me
Right.
through to the main park.
Lounge and dining room and
This
kitchen.
is fabulous. It's amazing what you can fit in a space of this size.
It really
isn't
is, because this really has got everything. The kitchen's got a dishwasher, cooker, built-in microwave. So although it's only a small space, it's got everything in it that you'd have in your own kitchen at home.
I really love it. I think it's brilliant. And are you pleased with it then, Peter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Absolutely.
That's a good job.
It is a worry, isn't it?
Just looking where the minibar might go.
mini bar. You're not going to have
Full
a big
bar.
one with a
Oh, yeah.
pineapple
Full
ice
bar.
cube holder on it. I love it. So we're halfway through, aren't we?
Halfway
this
through.
is week 4 and it takes 8 weeks to build.
Yeah.
How do they then get it? 'Cause it's all finished, like, brilliant. Oh, how are we going to get it out the doors? How do they then get it from here to your plot?
On a very large lorry.
Right.
It just gets taken on the road. It gets split into
Split down
2.
the middle.
Sealed up. And everything gets delivered. It even has the furniture in it when it's delivered.
That's
it'll be all
insane,
fitted.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's completely mad. Completely mad. And
terrible.
then gets sealed up, and then all the plumbing and everything happens on site to be fitted into the site that's there.
Absolutely cracking. Cannot wait to see it finished, actually. Here on the factory floor, it's hard to imagine the serene surroundings the lodge will find itself in a few weeks' time when it makes its journey from the hangar to Hawkshead. Now, for quite a while now, Jane and Peter have longed for somewhere they can escape to at the weekend with their 2 boys, somewhere that will offer them peace and tranquility. And with this lodge, I think they may have found it.
Back in Cumbria, and it's only 9 working days since I visited the factory with Jane and Peter. And look what's coming round the corner. Weaving its way through sheets of torrential rain are 2 halves of a bespoke flat-pack holiday home. Just as well, each half is sealed, as the build is already kitted out with fitted bathrooms and kitchen, and there's even a sofa on board. After a slightly precarious journey, the sections arrive on site and are wheeled into their location and lined up. Sitting amongst 5 other plots, Jane and Peter's was the last to be sold, and they've bagged themselves a corner position that looks out onto open fields. Luckily, the rain has let off, and the build can then be levered and nudged, using brute force to finally reunite the 2 halves. While the groundwork for the decking is underway, all that's left to do are the final cosmetic dressings and fixings.
It's just under 3 weeks since Peter and Jane's brand new holiday home arrived on site, spliced in two, and the family are about to spend their very first night in their brand spanking new flat pack home, and I can't wait to see it in all its wholesome glory.
Well, the lodge is certainly sitting proud and looking very different than when I last saw it. This is sleek contemporary holiday accommodation at its very best. The gable end is definitely the showpiece, with stunning glass floor-to-ceiling frontage, which opens up onto a generous decking area that simply soaks up those lakeland views.
Hello, hi.
Look at this!
No, it's fabulous, isn't it?
Oh my God, it's gorgeous.
Welcome.
Lovely to see
All
you
very
both.
green, and you.
Thank you for having me. Lovely.
Oh.
Pleasure.
Isn't it beautiful?
No.
Last time I saw you, we were in a big old warehouse. This hadn't been painted, it was just a complete shell. And now, look at your view.
I know, it's fantastic.
Has it all been worth it?
Oh, definitely. We're really, really pleased with it.
Just beautiful. Just lovely. Let's go and have a look inside.
Follow
Can't
us.
wait to see this.
And the transformation continues inside. The main living space is unrecognisable from the one I saw only 7 weeks ago. There's a shiny new kitchen, ample space for a dining table, a luxurious corner sofa, and a very cute wood burner for those winter months.
Come through.
Looks a little bit different than it did when you came before, when we saw it.
Look at it. It is beautiful. It really is. Because I know there's been a long-standing joke, little bit of teasing from some of your real friends, because they've called it the shed, haven't they?
Yes, very posh shed.
Ain't like any shed I've ever been.
Thank goodness for that.
But also in terms of practicality, it's a great lock up and leave, which is
Yeah.
what you need, isn't it? And it just feels really solid. Because the only thing I can compare this to is the sort of chalet holidays that I had when I was a kid. And those literally gust of wind and we'd all be in there going,
Yes,
"Ooh."
yeah.
This feels really solid. And it doesn't feel like a lodge, it feels like a house.
It feels like we've bought a bungalow, you know, a traditional bungalow.
Favourite feature?
I think the lounge part, because it looks really, really comfy and cosy, I think for me it is, and also the decking, because it's such a lovely day to day as well.
Yeah.
To kind of have your first day where it's sunny and the decking could be used. I'm really pleased.
Can we
with
go
it.
out and do
Yeah,
that?
go and have a look.
The bedrooms have also been transformed. The master is simple but stylish, with great full-length glass windows. And the ensuite makeover is quite impressive too, with a generous walk-in shower, limestone effect tiles and contemporary fittings. The boys' bedroom is also looking a lot different. Clean painted walls and a full-length window make for a very pleasant space.
It just gets better and better, doesn't it? Like everywhere you look, it's just beautiful. It's remarkably spacious considering it's not a huge building, isn't it?
It's amazing. When you think it's only 20 feet by 40 feet,
Yeah.
it's only a small space.
Yeah.
But what you actually get in there is fantastic.
It's unbelievable. If I said to you, oh, I've managed to find a little cottage in the middle of Hawkshead for the same amount as this, would you swap it?
No.
No.
Good.
No.
It's the outside
No.
space, I think, that really, really sells it for me.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
for Peter, like we've talked about before, it's the fact that it's new and you turn the heating on and it all works.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how pleased are you with your home?
Oh, it's definitely a 10.
Well, 10.
10 plus. You know, we are more pleased than we ever thought we would be.
Yeah.
And all those people that called it a shed, are they going to be allowed to come in here or not?
It depends how much wine they bring with them.
This lodge is more than just a building for Jane and Peter. It provides an escape for them and their boys, and it's been a great success. It's sleek, stylish and contemporary, but more than that, there's a real warmth to it. As soon as you step inside the door, the worries of the week just melt away. Now, the lakes have always held a very special resonance for Peter, and I do hope that this lodge will provide many memories for their boys for years to come.